Alright, I am currently not sure what the point of this YouTube channel actually is. Like, is this supposed to be a furry-centric YouTube channel where I talk about furry stuff, or is this a horror channel where I talk about horror stuff? I don't really know. I guess it's just a channel of weird stuff. So if you like either of those things I just mentioned, you'll probably, you know, get a good dose of either of those things. I don't know. I guess this is just a channel where we talk about all the stupid junk that I have. And with that said, I also post some of this junk on my Twitter account. So I don't know, if you want to see pictures of my junk, follow me on Twitter. Today, though, we're talking about something that I've been a fan of since I was a wee child, and I don't know if that's something I should be concerned about or not. Puppet Master. Yeah, the R-rated horror movie franchise filled with things that children should not see. And I saw all of those things. To this day, I'm not really sure why my very conservative parents allowed this to happen, but whatever. You see this thing right here? This is kind of like a, not an exact replica, but we'll say a loose replica of the trunk from the movies. This was originally a camera case. That's what it was being used for when I found it. And I kind of gutted it out and customized it into this. Oh my goodness, did something fall? Yeah, that fell. But anyway, you get the idea. I actually saw years ago, I guess Full Moon Toys that did the Puppet Master figures. I guess they were going to make a like a carrying case made to look like the trunk, but it never got past the prototype phase. But I saw those pictures and I was like, that'd be so cool to have. Because I had, you know, all these figures. Most of these, like this one that's falling over here, these are actual ones that I've had since I was a little kid. So yeah, I got these in the very early 2000s. So yeah, I guess we can, you know, go to close-up mode now. Alright, I guess we can talk about some of the details on the trunk first. After I give you just a good look at all this. This is more or less a complete set of the action figures. Some of them are missing accessories, but yeah, we'll get to that later. First, we have the curtain right here. This I actually had somebody make this for me because they were better at sewing than I was. Yeah, I put these little shelves in here. You know, again, this was just a case that was made for like an old, like 80s camera. That's what was in here. There was like a bunch of foam padding and, you know, not this. You can see I got some fabric kind of put on the back there. Yeah, some lining, I guess that's what you would call that. Then on this part, I also have some of the lining, but there's also up here, like I painted. This was all just, you know, like a dirty old wood color. And I painted it black. Looks pretty nice. Then I painted the trim gold. Then let's take a look at this. This is a syringe and a little vial of the secret formula that brings the puppets to life. And if I remember, I'll get some footage of this, but that is glow-in-the-dark, the paint that I used inside the little vial. Yeah, because in the movies, the stuff does glow when it's in the dark. But the syringe and the vial, those are just, like I just got those at a flea market. I think they were like $1 each. This guy just sold like random junk. Like they're not like used syringes or anything. Like they're brand new, but he just had, I guess he just buys like mass stock of stuff and sells it super cheap. I don't know. But the needle is actually not a needle, that's a toothpick. So, you know, I did paint parts of the syringe silver to make it look more old-fashioned. So that's that. And I have little pegs over here, which are just thumbtacks to hold Decapitron's heads. Because Decapitron, you know, is the character that he can take his head off and switch it with a different head. I got these little, like, these are like little bungee rope things just to kind of keep the character secure. It usually works. I did have to re-glue one of them at one point because, yeah, they're just held on with like hot glue, and if one of these characters decides to fall over in the box, it can rip it off. But I think they're about secure now. Then I guess I'll give another good look at that right there. Yeah, the letter. I did paint that myself. I tried to make it look like the actual, like on the poster and stuff, the lettering. Not perfect. You know, I'm not a computer or a extremely skilled artist, but it looks at that. I'd say that's pretty close if you look at like the poster and compare it to that. For just kind of freehanding it, I don't know. I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I think that looks nice. Okay, now that I've showed the case itself, I thought I'd go through the actual action figures that I have. This one's kind of hard to get out. Yeah, that space that I made, like only this character will fit in there, and it's, you really just have to know how to just weasel them in. So yeah, this is not perfect craftsmanship. But this is the first Puppet Master figure that I ever got when I was a young kid obsessed with these things. And this one, he's called Pinhead. He's got a little tiny head. You actually hit a button and it makes his head pop up. I think the gimmick, he used to come with like a weight set, and I guess the idea was like he's straining so hard with the weights that he blows his top. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so he's one of the killer puppets of the film series, and his ability, because they all have kind of like their own ability or power. His thing is he's super strong. This one is Jester. He actually doesn't have much of a functional power in terms of killing people, now that I think of it, but I guess the idea was he was supposed to be kind of the ringleader. I think that was the original idea, but you know, he can still, you know, like grab a knife or something. In fact, this figure used to come with a scepter that had little spiky points on it. That's long gone. I don't have that anymore. But he does have this ability. There's a wheel. You spin. See if I can get that to. And now he's got a sad face. Or you can, you know, get a little crazier with it. His head spins in all kinds of directions. This one is Tunneler. And in case you can't guess, he drills inside of you. So that was, I think, the first Puppet Master movie I saw was the third one. And I think the first kill was from this character. He drills inside of a guy, and that's when I knew that this was the coolest film franchise ever. Yeah. But this one you can spin a little similar thing. He's got a wheel, and it makes his drill spin. Kind of having a hard time doing it, but there you go. He also used to come with a machine gun and a pickaxe. Those are gone. I don't have those anymore. This one, this is kind of like the main icon of the film franchise, Blade. Everybody loves Blade. I loved Blade when I was younger. I thought he was the coolest thing ever. Oh, look at that. He's got like these metallic hook and knife for hands. So obviously that's his thing, is he has a hook and knife for hands, and he can mess you up with those. This figure, it doesn't work anymore. I think you can, there's a button, well, it doesn't matter, it doesn't work anymore, but his eyes used to light up red. This figure also, you could take out either his hook or his knife and replace it with this little hatchet. This one, I always thought this was the weirdest one that they made. This is Mephisto, which I guess is technically a character from Faust. Has nothing to do with Puppet Master, but there's one scene in Puppet Master 2 where the Puppet Master, before he, you know, learns about how to bring his puppets to life, he's doing a puppet show. So this thing is seen in one of the movies, but it's not a living puppet, it's just a regular, like, string puppet. But he comes with, if I can get it, I don't know if I can make that stand up. There, he's got it. There you go, some sort of like a mystical sphere thing. Next we got a 6-shooter over here. You can lower his little bandana, and I can't do anything with my hands. There we go. You can lower his bandana. You can see his face. There we go. And he comes with, I'm not about to put all of these in his hands right now, but I'll get one just for the example. There we go. Yeah, he's got 6 guns because he is a 6-shooter. Oh, by the way, get it? He has 6 arms, 6 guns, 6-shooter. That's hilarious, right? I actually only have 5 of the guns, though. I lost one years ago. Next one we got is Torch over here. And this one, he's missing his belt. He had a little belt. You can probably see there's some glue on there. At some point I tried to glue his coat together. I'd like to just get like a new belt made. You know. But, yeah, so this one's Torch, and his thing is he shoots a flame out of his arm. Let's see if I can get the piece. Let's see, yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's got a flame that comes out of there. This one also used to light up, but does no longer work. But his eyes would light up, and then there would be a light in his arm to light up the flame. So that was a really cool effect. Kind of disappointed it doesn't work anymore, but he's still very cool looking. This is Leech Woman. She's got a little knife. And she's got probably the most impractical power out of all of them. Let me get one of these things. I don't know how well you can see this. Yeah, kind of hard to help. That's a leech, though. Her special ability is that she pukes up leeches onto her victims. And again, it's not a very effective way to kill people unless they're like restrained somewhere. But it is awful. It is just disgusting. So that's kind of cool, you know. I'm trying to think if I should mention, they made this doll way more anatomically correct than anyone should have. I'm not going to be showing that, but just like if you're looking to collect these, just a heads up, that's a thing that the sculptors did. Oh, I guess I can also mention Leech Woman. This is going to look weird without context, but you hit a button on her back and her tongue moves. That's because one of the leeches, I don't have the one that did this, but one of the leeches you're supposed to stick on her tongue, and then you hit that button and it makes the leech wiggle around to look like it's wiggling out of her mouth. Again, it just kind of looks provocative and weird without the leech there. This is the only one that is not one of the puppets. This is introduced in Puppet Master 4. This is a totem. These are like kind of like almost like gremlin type creatures, I'd say. Like they were little monsters that would, you know, run around and kill people. But the basic idea is that these were, I guess they're kind of like demons sent by the Lord Demon Zootek, who is, I guess Zootek was the original owner of the Secret of Life formula or something, and you know, once Andre Toulon, the Puppet Master, got it, then Zootek had to get it back. I'm like processing this and thinking about the whole story behind these movies is a little bit more complicated than I thought. Like I'm trying to like sum it up just kind of like quickly, like, you know, we're not talking about the plot, we're just talking about the figures, but it's kind of a lot, I guess. So Totem comes with this little thing, like a power gem that you can basically set them up like that. So yeah, and then we're going to move on to the 12-inch figures. I think these are about 12-inch scale. They're like, you know, G.I. Joe sized. This one is Decapitron. I think this is one of the rarest ones. I almost never see this one when I'm at like the flea markets or anything. But they only did this figure in the 12-inch scale. I don't know why they didn't just do a regular sized figure of them. It's kind of weird. But in the films, the puppets are supposed to be when they come to life, they have, like, I guess the soul of an actual person who had died. So you put their life into the inanimate object. I guess the idea is that this one is actually the puppet master, Andre Toulon. If that's not the case, then they're not making it very clear, but that was the vibe that I got, is that this one was the puppet master brought back as a puppet, so he could fight these little demon things or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to explain the whole plot to these movies. Just go watch them. Watch Puppet Master 1 through 5. 1 through 5 are really solid, good movies. Cheesy and campy, but solid. But, okay, so he shoots electricity bolts out of this head. This is his weapon head. But obviously he's called Decapitron because he can take his heads off and they can be replaced. Am I doing this right? I think so. They can be replaced. Okay, I'm done fighting with it. Okay, so this is his morphing head. I guess it's just kind of his regular head. But the idea is when he puts this one on, it morphs into whoever he wants to look like, I guess. But in the 4th movie it was used, he could morph into the puppet master so he could communicate. Because, you know, none of the puppets have the ability to speak. But I guess this was like a loophole. Make a morphing head, then you can speak from the beyond, or however this works. Okay, one more figure is the 12-inch Blade figure. Again, Blade is kind of like the big hotshot character. He's the big iconic figure of the franchise and of Full Moon Films in general, who made these movies. So it's just kind of a larger version of Blade. I mean, doesn't do anything special or fancy. Smothered in blood, which I thought was awesome when I was a kid. And I kind of think it's awesome right now. Yeah. Fun thing about this one is that it's not quite life-size, but it's close enough that you could use it as like a Halloween decoration if you wanted to. Alright, I got my spooky black light out now. Let's see the glow in the dark vial and stuff. I didn't forget to do it, because sometimes I forget things because I'm stupid. Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah, wasn't that worth it?